From different parts of the world, the ministers arrived at Paris and are getting down to business in high-level negotiation sessions. They face a distinct choice between a deal that can keep climate change in check and one that would see climate chaos.
La catastrophe climatique du guette.
A climate catastrophe is close, the UN Secretary General told the delegates. The world is expecting more from you than half measures and incremental approaches, he concluded. Scientists advised that if governments act now, they will create opportunities for better environment for now and the future.
If we carry on like this, we risk increasingly severe and irreversible impacts, rising seas, increasingly severe droughts and floods, food and water shortages, to name just a few. But we know how to tackle climate change, and we have the means, economic, technological, and institutional. But the longer we wait, the harder and more expensive it will be to overcome.
Meanwhile, the African group simply asked the world not to deny the continent the right to develop because of climate change.
Africa cannot be expected to divert our resources away from development or to be excluded as a bloc from receiving climate finance. Therefore, it is imperative that any flexibility arrangements or special arrangement for climate finance in the agreement should include the African countries.
In 2009, wealthy countries pledged to pay the developing world $100 billion a year by 2020. The Nigerian Minister of Environment, who addresses the plenary on Tuesday, talks about the importance of what Africa is asking for, access to the money.
These funds have to be accessible. There's no use putting a fund in place and then you can't access it because you put in there criteria that countries cannot respond to.
The draft text still contains a host of options through which ministers need to sift. Depending on what they do with the options on the table, the deal could be strong and ambitious or watered down and ineffective. The ability of this deal to stave off devastating levels of warming now rests on whether the ministers can step up and bring new levels of political will to the talks.
As we enter the second week, we are in the final stretch, and the ministers must agree to unlock the final deal. But the road to that deal is long and tough. From Paris-Le Bourget, the venue of the 2015 Climate Conference, I'm Ayola Kasim reporting for Channels Television News.